2007, 8, and 9. 3 Pac-10 championships. How in the heck do you lose your job?
It wasn't my choice, that's for sure.
Let alone, you had 3 top 5 finishes in 5 years. That's unheard of.
Well, we're proud of what the program has accomplished, both on and off the field. Kids were doing great things in the community, doing great in school. Our academic situation was as strong as ever. People coming to the games like never before, and we're getting it done on the field. You see a bunch of guys popping up in the major leagues right now. As early as the guy that played for us last year, Mike Leake, is making a big impact in Major League Baseball. So I'm just proud of what the program's achieving and the types of people that we turned out, and I'm grateful I was part of it.
Murph, let's talk about something that's very, very important, I think, in today's society, that when it comes to sports gets greatly overlooked. How well your kids did academically. In fact, ASU saw something that had really never happened before.
Well, again, when you set the standard to be excellence as a person and as a player and to compete at the highest level, you're going to have young men make the connection that, hey, I better do well in the classroom. And this is important. This is a total program. And that's what made the job fun, is that you're helping young men prepare for their future, regardless if they end up in MLB.
Have you always been that way, where you felt that academic role, that grade point average, was as important as performance and winning on the field?
It's evolved. When I first started at Notre Dame, I felt like all these kids are great academic kids. I need them to start focusing on baseball. And I might have been a little overboard in how hard I worked them. As counsel, he jokes with me about it a lot. But the truth is, you evolve as a coach and you get better and better and you understand the importance. And at first it might be lip service when you're a young coach starting out at 27 years old. And then as you get older, you realize, you're really affecting their lives and what they're going to do. Baseball ends someday. So it's important they get the degree and emphasize, going to class and being on time and listening and exchanging information, but doing your own work. And those things are all important.
You mentioned Craig Counsell. When you've seen what he's done, he just didn't win a World Series for one team. He won a World Series for 2 teams. He's been right there in the heat of the battle.
I'm proud of guys like that. And I wish I could say Counsell or Pedroia or Leake or Ethier, Ike Davis. I wish I could say, I was a difference maker. But I think the reality of it. I'm proud that I was part of their careers. But they were good players when they came to me. They might have needed a little direction change here and there. But basically, they were great kids that just needed to believe more that they could do it. And that's a real key, in believing you can do it for sure.
Do you think that your personality, your attitude, and even sometimes arrogance over the years of not really caring if somebody liked you or not, because you really truly cared about these kids? And a lot of times people didn't really know how to take you, Coach, to be honest with you, because you were so focused on these kids and the fact that you had these parents believe in you, that your kid is safe with me, he's going to get a great education, I'm going to teach him morals, I'm going to teach him how to be a man, that when other people were trying to interfere because everybody wants a piece of the action, when you would just kind of just like block people out, do you think because you cared so much about these kids that eventually came back to bite you in the rear?
I definitely wouldn't be considered a political animal.
Yeah, it's not like you're running for governor anytime soon, are you?
No, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And I know I would change things just because you go through something like this, you say, I could have done that a little differently. I know I've grown tremendously as a coach, but I think every year you grow as a coach. I think I'm better now than I've ever been. But I did some things that you wouldn't do, if I knew the outcome, if I knew. But I never did anything to maliciously hurt anyone, and I never did anything to not, serve the person in his future. But sometimes I was maybe too tough. Sometimes I was, I think the player might not have been ready for my approach. But in the long run, I think it probably ended up helping. But I'm not a guy that you'd come away saying, God, I love that experience this year. I think 10 years down the road, you might realize it. And that's what I've found to be true. Some guys get it. You know, they have great success and they go right there, they get it. But I think other guys, it takes a while. And that's okay. My job is to truly just help facilitate them and help them believe in themselves. And hopefully they go on and have great success and to win games. And that mixture doesn't always sit well with parents. It doesn't always sit well with administrators, whatever. But I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And when something like this hits and it's a gross injustice and you're like, this isn't fair, you realize, you know, it's fragile. It's very fragile, so you better enjoy it day in and day out.
Parents can be extremely detrimental to kids when in heart they really want what's best for their kids.
Well, as a parent myself, I've learned a great deal from raising my son. You know, Kai was born in 2000, and from 2000 to today, I'm a way better coach than I ever was because I realized that's somebody's Kai Joseph right there as I'm coaching this young man. So then I started to understand parents much better once Kai was full-time in my life and it was just me and him, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I realized how emotional parents can be. But I think the best thing I would tell parents is to communicate with coaches openly from a non-emotional standpoint if they can. You know, step back and say, okay, what do we want out of this experience and where is the coach coming from? You know, criticizing after or, you know, just standing back and second guessing, carrying out rumors, that type of thing, that's not helping the kid. And usually the coach and the player has a relationship that sometimes parents don't understand. And but as parents, we're all growing, so I'm sure I'll make those same mistakes when Kai's involved. So
It's no secret that your son in 2000 did change your life. You have found ways to really build him a field of dreams.
Well, I think that you know, Kai and I have a bond that you know, I know many parents have, and that is a closeness that the spoken word really can't describe it. You know, it's more about day to day. You know, it's waking up every day knowing, you know, I got your back, and he feels the same way. We look forward to seeing each other, and it may not be with, you know, outpouring of great emotion or anything like that. We just know. He doesn't talk a lot about it. This experience, I know, has affected him. He grew up at Packard Stadium, you know, and I think this was pretty hurtful to him, but never said a word about it. What are we doing next, Daddy? You know, that was it. But we've shared a lot of baseball moments, but we've shared a lot of great moments just together, whether it's traveling, laughing. We've got our little TV shows we watch together and fight over the controller and that type of thing. So we've had a lot of fun. I tell you, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Did you ever think he'd grow out of that baseball field in the backyard? That he'd be pounding balls out into the neighbor's yard?
Yeah.
Well, you can just stir up crap everywhere you go,
Exactly.
can't you? Even in your own neighborhood.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't go over big in the neighborhood. We had lights and a baseball field, and families over there every night hanging out. It was a lot of fun. But we've kind of adjusted it a little bit by building a batting cage back there, but still filled with young people, and it's a great place to hang out. And I know my son feels safe there, and it's really a home for him.